system. We vote every single time we make a purchase. If you don't like McDonald's cheeseburgers, and neither does anybody else, guess what's going to happen to McDonald's? It, it can't be a system where the big evil capitalists are controlling it. They have to obey what the consumer wants, or they won't be around. That's just a fact. The only way they can skew the balance of that system is with government intervention, by introducing regulation and bits of socialism into the system, where they can actually control, entry from other businesses, or kind of like your local power company. Why is it that you only really have, you have a choice on who actually generates it, but since 2/3 of your bill actually comes from the power lines, do you have any choice on how you get the power to your house? No, you don't. And why is that? It's a completely regulated system. It's mostly a socialist system on getting energy to your house. So think about, like, when you go and return something to Walmart versus when you go to an airport and have to deal with the TCA. The TCA is a socialist run. You could think of it as a socialist company because it is a socialist run organization. It is run by the government. Its plans and means of production is owned by the government. Where in Walmart, let's say, its means and plans for production is owned by the private sector. When you go to return something at Walmart, do they give you a hard time? How do they treat you? If you go home with a new radio, let's say, and your dog chews on it and it doesn't work, and you go to bring it back the next day, and maybe you don't even have the receipt. How do they treat you? They tell you to, all right, sir, we'll take it, and why don't you go get another one and bring it up and we'll exchange it for you. We're so sorry this happened, and yada yada yada. And then when you walk into the TCA, how do they treat you? Are they nice to you, or are you walking in there with your head down, trying to look inconspicuous, hoping they don't give you a hard time, hoping they don't feel your genitals up and pull you out of line and embarrass you in front of everybody else? What's the difference between those two organizations, the private capitalist one and the socialist government one? Is this kind of like, am I given just kind of a random bad inference? Is this kind of not really how things are? Pick any government entity or socialist entity. Pick the registry. Pick the town hall. Pick any government institution that you have to deal with. How do they treat you versus how do you get treated at your local supermarket, your local Cumberland Farms? If you have a problem and you bring a donut up in your Cumberland Farms and it's smushed, what's the person behind the counter going to say? Are they going to tell you to go F yourself, or are they going to say, oh, sorry, sir, please go grab, let us give you another one. Here, have this for free, or whatever. So what's the difference between these two organizations, the TSA and Walmart? Is it different types of people go get a job at the TSA and different types of people go get a job at Walmart? Or is it really the same type of people? It is the same type of people. It's got nothing to do with that. Are good people brought up to and they apply at Walmart, and shit asses are brought up and they apply at the TSA? No. It's an institutional difference. One has to worry about the opinion of the many. The other one is a monopoly and has to worry about nothing. They have exact legislative power to stay exactly where they are. They can't be booted out. They don't have to worry about what you think of them. That's the difference between capitalism and socialism. And it's an institutional difference, and it's an inherent difference between the two. It's got nothing to do with the people they hire, or where they came from, or how they were raised. It's an institutional difference. One's capitalism, one's socialist. Which system do you want to be part of? And I'm going to talk a lot more about capitalism because I'm a libertarian. I think there should be no regulation whatsoever, and that probably sounds outrageous to a lot of people, and I take it to the point where I think there should be no such thing as the FDA, no such thing as the Department of Energy, no such thing as the Department of Education, and people, you don't like kids, you don't want kids to learn. No, it's not that. It's that I know the private sector can educate way better and way cheaper than a public institution can, or a socialist institution, because that's what the Department of Education is a socialist institution. More government is more socialism. Less government is less socialism. All government is socialism. It's not, there's not a free market government. There's no such thing. Government equals socialism. They are the same thing. All regulation is a form of socialism. And it's hard to get for the average person to get to look past, having no FDA, because they just imagine, people running wild, selling crazy oils off the back of a wagon in 1888 that have morphine in them or whatever. And if we don't have the FDA, that's what it's going to be, and people are going to die and drop dead. What people that think that way, they lack imagination, because they don't understand that just because you went with a free market institution doesn't mean you're not. If you got rid of the FDA and got rid of the socialist part of it, that there wouldn't be anything to replace it. So I guess that's enough for the moment. I'll download this up, and I'll try to do another one on capitalism tonight. There's a lot to talk about with capitalism. So Jim Fisher signing off in the third way.